Today is Monday, November 27th, 2023 at 6 PM, the Board of Health meeting. Meeting room 2, Memorial Hall. Can I get a roll call, please?
Gavin Byers.
James Laqueer.
And Chris Nosella. Kyle, we have one addition, and that is 8 Pearl Brook Road update. Rick, do you have that?
Yeah, Carlos got it right there.
Is that the, that's not the one with the drinking water, right?
No,
Okay.
it's a septic upgrade. Ooh, is that really the size
That's
of
it.
them?
Yep.
Wow.
There's, yeah, the
Okay.
second sheet's just a detail sheet.
Oh,
Okay.
went all out on the side of that.
So they have right now an existing septic tank and a pit that's in failure. So they're looking to replace the tank with the 2,500 gallon 2 compartment. They do have a note here that the contractor can switch to 1,500 followed by 1,000 if they choose to. And then that's gonna go out to infiltrator leaching fields, so those are those plastic chambers. They aren't asking for any variances, it's nice gravelly material with, I don't think we had any groundwater table. Yeah, it was, we got down 108 inches, 114 inches, and 104 inches, didn't have any water in any of them, no signs of modeling. So it's in full compliance with the upgrade regulations, they just don't have a reserve because it's an upgrade.
And the vent pipe can be right at the border?
Yep.
Okay.
When will you know if they're gonna do opposite tanks?
Probably find out once they hire a contractor, so like we looked at, it's cheaper to do the 1,500 and 1,000 materials wise. I don't know what like delivery and all that, once you get that, you know, what it becomes, but a lot of guys have, since you guys changed the reg, have chosen to do the 1,500 and 1,000 as opposed to the single tank. But we probably wouldn't figure out until they hire somebody and he choose to move forward like that.
All that does is take up more space, right? It really doesn't.
Yeah, I
Take
mean, they
a
got,
little additional space,
Yeah.
but not a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, they got plenty of pitch. I mean, you could even turn them sideways too and stack them right next to each other, and keep going. So yeah, they have the vertical leeway to be able to do it. And the permit right now says 2,500 gallon 2 compartment because that was how it was proposed. But we could do a field change and then it'd just be noted on the as-built.
You okay with that, Jim?
I'm perfect with it.
Okay. Get a motion, please.
Make a motion to approve 8 Pearl Brook Road as drawn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Oh, this is all, goes with that. Okay, that takes care of that. Now we have 1.3, which is 22 Main Street septic variances.
222.
222. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Here's the green card for the abutter notification.
Thank you.
I don't know how much you guys know about what's happening out here, whether Rick's or Carl has informed you, but this is the septic system that's being installed at the shopping center. Kevin Smith has been installing the system. We had proposed a septic tank and pump chamber in these 2 locations, the shaded area. When they got out there and started excavating, they found water lines and gas lines further out into this area than what was anticipated. So they had to move the tanks a little bit to fit everything in, so they slid everything this way a little bit, about 2 or 3 feet. So they ended up with offsets from the property line of 6.7 and 6.6 feet instead of the required 10 foot.
What's on the other side?
The railroad tracks. Well, not railroad tracks anymore.
Yeah.
It's a rail trail.
It's a rail
Yeah.
trail now, yeah.
Can I see that?
What's our regulations from the board?
So it's when you guys had approved this, it was an increase in flow because they were adding that potential for a new restaurant.
Right,
So it's Title V variance. Title V requires 10 feet. Locally, you guys don't have anything.
well, we don't have
So it
anything.
defers to Title V, but it's
Okay.
it's not like a local upgrade approval that we would see for an upgrade. It's a Title V variance. Because it's really supposed to be in full compliance. With this one, those are the big gas lines that run through back there.
Yeah.
And so. I don't
This is the
think it would
Hannaford
really-
lot, or?
This is
No,
the
right here.
Family Dollar.
Right in the center
Oh,
of town.
Family
Yeah,
Dollar,
so-
oh, okay,
They dug the gas lines up to find right where they were.
yeah.
But unless they move the gas lines, they're
just-
pigeonholed between the gas line and the
Mm.
property line.
How many gallons a day is this?
I don't remember those.
It's
to be honest with you.
3,865 gallons per day.
So it's way under the 10,000, okay. I'll just comment to the
Yeah.
board that this is the, again, I haven't come across this, I knew
Yeah.
this was in motion, but I
Yeah.
didn't know a timeframe on it.
Hmm.
But when we get into conditions like this with pre-existing stuff, the rail trail is there, we have to adjust ourselves to make sure that they can install it
Yeah,
easily and conveniently.
okay,
So,
yeah. And the state
My-
doesn't have a problem with us?
There's a variance process, so you guys have to hold a public hearing, which you're doing.
Yeah,
And then, if you vote to approve it or deny it, that decision has to be in writing. And if you do approve it, the written approval has to be posted for 30 days from the decision.
yeah. Now,
Okay,
if there was
yeah.
housing on the other
Yeah.
side of that or some other building or
Right.
whatever,
Hmm.
we might have different conditions to work with.
right,
But because of the fact it's the rail trail and on the way on the other side of that,
yeah.
I think that's the end of the cold storage units on the other
I
side.
think
I think it's
Kevin
passed,
Smith,
yeah.
the guy installing it, told me he owns the land on the other side of that.
Yeah, okay, well, that's irrelevant to what we're doing.
Right, so, yeah, but he wouldn't carry there. so-
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
so from the rail trail down to where these tanks are,
Mm.
there's probably like a 5-foot elevation
least.
drop or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least, I know the site very
Yeah,
well.
it drops right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Do we need a motion on this? What are you gonna,
Yeah.
I would, yes.
yeah. You wanna go for it, Gavin?
We don't need to give it.
Variance?
We don't need
Okay.
to submit it to the state.
I got the knowledge. What's the address on this again?
222 Main Street.
Oh, yeah, Dirk, that's me. I make a motion to approve 222 Main Street and allowing the distances that are necessary between the gas lines and the rail trail to be pre-existing conditions so they can move forward.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank
All
you,
right,
Jim.
thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, Jim, that was a big help.
That was great.
All right, let's move on to, yes, 35 Turner Road, a potable water request.
So, Ann, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, this is Ann Gagnon, she's the one
Hi, Ann.
that's purchasing this property, 35 Turner Road.
Yeah.
So the owner had called to do the water test that you guys require as part of the transfer of property, and it came back high for arsenic.
Yep.
And so as part of their purchase and sale agreement, they had said that if the cost for treatment didn't exceed a certain dollar amount, that Ann would take that on as her responsibility to resolve it once she purchased the property. And so she's essentially asking for something similar to what you guys have approved in the past, to allow her 60 days from closing to resolve the arsenic issue and make the water potable instead of having the owner do it prior to closing.
Okay, what if it can't be done, just by, like we've done before?
Yes.
Treat the system and all that.
I've never seen treatment not work.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
arsenic's something that comes up, especially on Turner Road in town,
Yeah.
pretty often. And, we see radon a lot kind of in the New Hampshire side of town.
Yeah.
But there's systems out there that can treat both of those pretty well.
Okay.
I don't know if they had done a speciation test, but there's two different types of arsenic. One that's fairly easy to remove, one that's a little bit tougher, and you need to do some chemical conversions before you actually run it through that unit to pull it out. But there's units out there that can definitely do it.
Okay, I just don't wanna see her get stuck by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, so I think
or
you
something.
already got estimates for everything, and that's how you determined it was gonna be below that dollar amount. you agreed to.
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
and I actually have them scheduled to come and put it in December 21st,
Okay,
and I think I'm set to close Friday the 1st,
okay,
so. And
Okay.
the current owner has permission to stay there for the month while her new place is getting finished, I guess, so.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Any questions? No? Okay.
I do have this signed form
Okay,
by both myself and the seller,
okay.
but
Yep.
there's a space for you to sign.
Yeah, so as
Yeah.
long as
Yeah.
if they approve it, they've got to vote, and if they do, then I can sign it for you and
Yeah.
and take it.
All right, can we get a motion for, this
Yes.
is,
That's a motion to extend the period of time.
well, we're also approving,
If you-
yeah,
Yeah.
approving the owner taking care of the problem as opposed to the buyer instead of the
Buyer
owner.
as opposed to the owner.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll make a motion at 35 Turner Road that the permission be granted for the owner to, the current buyer to assume the balance of the difference of the potable water treatment plant.
I'll second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, very good, you're all set, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so that takes care of that.
And then we'll just want to make,
Public hearing,
Carla, do you know if the
revisions
copy
to
room is
all
open?
regulations, signature needed only.
There's a
just wanna make a copy
code
for
to
you.
get in here, and that's the code. Okay. You can read that, right?
Yep.
It takes me 3 times to get it to go in, just to let you know.
Okay. So it says, public hearing, revisions to the hauler regulation, signatures needed
Did you miss
only.
6 Barker Road?
Barker Hill Road.
Oh, I thought that's the one we just did. I'm sorry.
No, we just did third term.
Yeah.
Rick just stepped out.
Yeah, let's step out.
I can give you an update on 6 Barker Hill Road.
Yeah,
It was
please.
the fire department or the police department, I'm fairly certain it was the police department. In fact, I know it was the police department, had given us a call, a little worried about the property, asked us to do a well check. We asked for a report back from them and we haven't received it. So that's why there's no report, because without a report, it's not really feasible for Rick to just go do a well check. There has to be a reason why.
Yeah, so we don't even know why they want us there, basically, without a report. Okay. So I guess we can carry that one to the next meeting if we get a report.
Who talked to
Rick, we're at 6 Barker Hill Road. Did you actually talk to the officer at all? Or just left
So
a message with
I
needing a
talked
report?
to. So I sent a letter to the owner of the property requesting inspection, and I have not heard anything back. That letter was sent out October 27th. Gary Shepard met me out at the property and said that he called the police department, he called his department. He said that they were likely still at the hospital when we went because it was a day after they had transported them. And I'll have to check. I think this is the one that we had asked for reports. And the
Yes.
answer that we were given was that they were unavailable to us.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
unavailable as in like, you're not gonna get?
We're not gonna get them.
So what do we do, guys?
What are our
I'm
options?
not, I'm not sure that there's much you can do because, we don't have any firsthand knowledge of what happened. And, unless we can get a report or somebody from one that did go into the property is willing to write us an affidavit as, a town employee or a public official, it's gonna be hard to get an administrative search warrant from the judge. And that's really your only option at this point is to, force your way in for inspection through an administrative search warrant. And, we've gone down that path with, Janice and one other one, I think it was, or Janice might have been the only one.
Well, I
for
think
you
it was the
guys.
other lady at the apartment there, I think we had.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so we've gone in that one too. That one was successful.
yeah.
But-
Janice
but
was kind of
Janice-
successful. She's actually not there anymore.
Is she
So-
gone now?
Yes.
She passed? What about
Yeah.
her son? They both passed.
Yeah.
So it's, it's up to you guys. We can pursue that if that's what you wanna do.
Well, I'd like to see a
But it's-
report first, Rick, before we do
Well,
anything.
That's
We
why we
can't-
have
yeah,
no
we can't.
report,
Yeah.
because
They-
they don't,
Said it's unavailable to us.
Then there's nothing we can do. We, without any evidence from the police department or the fire department, a report, then we really can't do anything.
unless they're willing to give us
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
separate just for our purposes.
Yeah.
Because the report would spell out what they saw and their concerns when they called us. But if we don't have that, we're really, we've got nowhere to go.
You know, there's no reason for us to do anything on hearsay. We need something in writing to let us know there's a problem that we can actually look into.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as right now goes, if you wanna try and contact the fire department, police department, and say
See if I
this,
can reach out to Gary.
yep, see if you can actually get, something in writing telling us that, there's something we need to do, then we'll do it. Other than that, it's not even on our agenda. You look awful happy.
I was just laughing at the whole family coming in.
We get someplace to
Didn't
go
know it was a
afterwards, so like,
family
we wasn't
affair,
gonna
but,
stop.
you know, going to dinner after maybe?
Kevin?
Yeah, I'd like to see an attempt to contact
Yeah.
a police officer if that's who initially raised concerns.
So it was I think it was Gary that reached out.
I think our
to
best
us.
option is Gary.
All right, so, yeah.
I
Which
have-
would be the fire
I-
department.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he's the chief, and
Yeah.
he works with us at the recycling
Yeah.
center, so I'm fairly certain
Yeah.
that he'll respond to me.
Okay. So what we can do is, I guess, is keep it on the
Continue.
agenda and,
Update next time.
update, yeah, for the next meeting and see what happens.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get something so we can fix this problem that apparently exists. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, moving on. We'll go to 1.6, public hearing revisions to hauler regulations, signatures only.
And the signatures have already been signed, the paperwork was somewhere lost in the chain of command, we believe, to the selectman, to the accountant. So I've asked you to sign 3 copies, one so we can keep one so the accountant can keep one, and one so the selectman can keep one. The last revisions weren't made due, so you are referencing a fee schedule. So every time you wanna increase the fees, which I believe is the next item on your agenda, noted hauler fees, when you change the fees, we don't have to have a public hearing, we don't have to publish the summary in the newspaper, correct?
Yeah, so with these changes, you'll have to post a summary, and you'll have to provide a copy to Mass DEP, and you'll have to provide Kathy with a copy.
Right, and that's the ones that we did in May that they just don't have signatures for,
Oh, gotcha.
okay? So, and all 3 have signed that,
Yep.
so I think we're good there.
Excellent, all right, so that, do we have to close a public hearing for that?
You already closed
I mean, it would have
I mean, it
so-
was-
you already held the public
Right.
hearing, so all you're really doing is signing the regs that you had already adopted.
Okay,
after you
so
closed
that's was closed in the spring.
Mhm.
Gotcha, okay. Now, 1.7, increase Board of Health permit fees. Full system upgrade to be announced and hauler fees to be announced.
To be determined.
Oh, to be determined. Oh.
Because that is the 3 that,
There is
well,
no
there
A in
was,
there,
there
is there?
was, what else did we increased, another fee, I can't remember which one it was. It was the food permit fee from $5 to $50, which is next on your agenda. And therefore, it was determined that what you were looking at is increasing the hauler fees and increasing full system upgrades versus just D-boxes and a sewer line or something that was less than a full system upgrade. So now you have to determine what prices you wanna have. Right now, the hauler fees are $200. I can see them anywhere up to 600, depending upon the city. You have to remember the cities obviously have many more haulers coming in, there's gonna be a lot more paperwork. We have approximately a dozen that come into the town. I don't have to chase them.
Okay,
They're very good with their permit fees.
Do we have the current fees anyway, so we know what we're doing? Or am I totally lost?
Well,
well, the
I
fees are
think these,
200?
well, the hauler fees are 200, and these were the fees for what we looked at. We looked at body art, we looked at the food license, frozen dessert, milk, motel license, overflow bags, septic upgrades, new construction for increase in flow, new construction, more 3-bedroom units, commercial septic, transfer septic, Title V tobacco well, and camp fee. So we didn't actually collect the hauler fees in this because we couldn't really find anything in here other than the food permit to increase, because you can see these are all the Neshoba towns. So you can see that. And that was a pretty successful thing, going from $5 to $50. And the hauler fees, as I said, if you would like to have, because I honestly did not think after signing them that you were going to actually do this here today. If you want, I can do the same exact spreadsheet. Do you even have hauler fees at Neshoba? Do you track
Not
those?
that we collect, so it's all local
Right,
fees.
it's all local.
Yeah,
So
so
I'll
I
have
know-
to do a lot more homework. I
And,
can certainly do it for the next meeting if you'd like to see it. Like I said, I didn't see anything more than 600 in the heavy cities, and we have it at 2 right now. Your tobacco permit, you've increased a few years ago. You increased it $75 or $50 increments for 3 years, and it's at $275 now. And you chose to keep that there. But I do think you have some room in the hauler fees, even if it's $100.
Yeah.
It's something.
I would like to suggest that we get some more information on this, so we're ready to look at this at our next meeting.
That's fine. Gavin, you good with that?
Yeah.
Good, all right, Carla, let's put that one up for the next
Okay,
meeting,
do you
please.
wanna talk, Rick, about the other one with the full system upgrades? Because you could possibly get that one done.
So, the thought there is right now, if it's a system upgrade, so I mean, in your failed system for an existing house that you're replacing, but you're not increasing the number of bedrooms, you charge $50 for that. You also charge $50 for a D-box replacement or a septic tank replacement or a sewer line replacement. So the thought was to separate those two and continue to keep the single component replacements at the $50 you do now and increase the fee for the system upgrades. And I know just my towns, it'd be like $75, so increasing that $25. And I don't, you guys probably do like 25-ish a year or something like that.
For how many years?
Each year,
Annual,
Every year?
yeah.
annual fee.
That's gonna blow our hair out of our sky. That's why we gotta look at this in 2 weeks.
No,
Once we establish a new billing cycle, then we can determine possibly percentage increases.
that sounds good. I mean, I don't know, I look at it different. I just, I don't understand exactly, what are we charging $50 a year for?
So that's per permit. So you guys do like
Oh, so
20
all you're doing is
you
upping
guys-
a permit.
You guys
cost.
do something like 25 upgrade permits a
Yeah.
year. So if you bumped it up by $25, that's
Yeah.
how much you'd be increasing your revenues.
Oh,
roughly
so it's not
25.
like we're charging them $50 a year for the rest of their lives. It's a
No, no,
one-time
no.
fee.
One-time fee, but we
Yeah.
can't make it so that it's outrageous so people can't afford to do it.
I wouldn't think $25 in this
No, not for
economy.
initially, but you can't
Yeah.
go up $25 every year.
No, we do it year at a time.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't wanna say we're gonna graduate that to, $4,000 over the next 10 years. That's
This is my point of
ridiculous.
contention,
Yeah,
to
I
keep
would
it
just assume,
minimal.
keep it simple. We could do it year by year or do it every 5 years or whatever is possible.
And you also can't be in what is it, Rick, actual mass general law where we can't actually be
Yeah, I mean,
making money like
you
we're a
have
company.
to be able
We
to
have to
just
substantiate
the
what
fees.
Gotta justify it.
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any significant differences between commercial and residential on your end, or planning wise?
So you guys already separate the two
Yeah,
within your fee schedule. I mean, yeah, it takes a little bit longer to look at the commercial systems, especially once you get over 2,000 gallons per day, because you have to factor in, you start requiring groundwater mounting calculations. So we'll check and make sure that those are right. You've got to, once you get over 2,000 gallons per day, you have to do pressure dose systems, and there's a lot of calculations that go along with that, because there's a fine line between making it work and making it not work.
is that common in Townsend? Is that something
I
that
mean,
you normally have to
the
do?
only one we did recently was the Family Dollar, and they put in the Presby system, so it exempts them from pressure dosing. I can't really think of any that we've done that are that style. I'm trying to think, maybe the senior center and library, but I'm not sure that was even over 2,000 gallons per day. I think it was just under. The school was pressure dosed, because that one was a bigger flow, 8,500 gallons or something like that. So that one was a big pressure dose system, but there aren't many in town.
I would think the only ones in town would probably be like maybe Sterilite or maybe the.
We don't
the
have a
mall
lot of
down the
commercial
street.
buildings
Yeah.
around, so it's a limited.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they put
Okay.
Presby systems in too. I mean, a
Just
lot of
like
people
they're
do it
they're
to
always-
get around the pressure dosing because
Right.
it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of engineering that goes into them. And so they've done that. I mean, what we do with our fees is we separate it by conventional pipe and stone and innovative alternative. It definitely takes a longer time to look at an innovative alternative plan than it does a conventional pipe and stone. So that's how we kind of calculate it, because we're spending more time on it.
okay. Any questions?
Yeah, if we can look at something.
Yeah,
Look a little more.
yeah, all right, so let's move this whole section.
Okay.
The food permits,
Okay.
not the food permits, the increases to, next meeting, if you can make, chats for everyone.
Which you
to
can
look at.
talk about right now, because the last thing that you have is the annual food permits that are past due, and it is, we should talk about the next meetings, because you have something on the 12th, and then the next meeting is the 26th. Does anyone wanna meet the day after Christmas?
Yeah, I wanna be here. I'll be bored that day, nothing to do.
Listen, you could put a red suit on right now and pass for Santa Claus.
This is very true, and I just cut it too.
So should we move that to the 24th then, Jim?
So we're all set with the 12th, though? That's okay with everybody? The next meeting, the 12th?
I will not be here.
We'll get you a ride. I'll come pick you up.
I don't know
I
that
don't
soon
think
after
that- I don't
surgery.
think he's gonna be
I'm
ready
going
at
to
that
be
time.
available.
You're gonna be on the
Okay, so
phone?
no, Chris. And
That's-
then,
Depends on how I feel.
That's on the 12th, not the
Yeah.
11th,
Says the 12th, yeah.
it says the 12th, but do I have it wrong?
because that's a Tuesday.
Okay, so it's definitely not, it must be the 11th.
The 11th.
It is the 11th. Thank you, Gavin.
All right, my phone won't go back on.
Then, yeah, the 25th is actually the next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we went to the 26th,
I
because
think
it
so.
would be the day after. Well, I'll tell you what, as far as the 26th goes, we'll figure that out the next meeting. If,
On the 11th?
Yeah, that we will,
Okay.
we'll
Do you see
change
anything
that.
coming up?
There's not way too much coming in. Things have definitely
I
slowed
don't
down.
see anything that
So
would
wouldn't, and around the
make you
holidays, things
really
seem to
need to.
slow down anyways.
Yeah.
Your next meeting after that will be on the 8th.
Yeah,
So you're not really missing, it's just a 2 weeks, sometimes you miss 3. But it's
Yeah.
just 2 weeks.
hmm,
Okay, so we'll keep it on the agenda, but
yeah.
I will also put down the 8th.
Do we,
Is there
as
as
far as the
well.
food permits, and I think I'm not sure of this, do we have fines for paying late?
Not for food permits, we know.
No. What are you
So-
thinking, Mr. Rick?
So up to you guys. I mean, we
Do
do
other
at
towns?
Neshoba.
Yeah,
I think it's $25, something like that.
yeah,
Actually, it's 75, I think, because the Townsend package store came in and
Yeah.
paid your late fee.
Gotcha. So yeah, maybe it is that high.
Which is something that we could do and put it just as we did with the hauler fees under a fee schedule. So in the future, if we wanted to raise it again, we wouldn't have to go through all that.
okay.
So-
All right, so that's something
I-
you guys can think about to the next meeting?
I
Also?
had 9 restaurants, and right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. I sent out the notices 2 weeks after the information was due, letting them know that if I hadn't received the fee, we were going to be discussing that at an open meeting on the 27th. So hopefully, they will just come in and it will just be you.
I know the other part too is we've got to get info to Sabrina for the common vic licenses. So that could be a mechanism to collect the money too, to make sure that the selectman's office knows that they own.
And they absolutely do, and when they send out any common vics, they will send us out all establishments, so we don't usually have this problem, but, I will definitely let them know.
Okay.
Okay. So that's something you guys can think about also is, fines for late payments. I don't know, what are your late payments considered? 30 days?
I'd have to check, because Bridget does all the food service permitting, and we don't collect late fees for anything else,
Right,
just the food permits, so I'll have to check and I'll get it to Carla, so we have it for the next meeting.
okay, that'll be good. At
Are
least that
they
way we'll get an
inspected
idea.
just by annually?
I think biannually, so they're
6 months.
twice a year, yeah. And then, there's a few, so the schools might be on a more regular inspection schedule.
Ooh, we can find the school and get some of our tax money back.
So yeah, nonprofits don't pay a fee.
Here we go, already.
Nothing for the school.
I tried,
It's a non-profit, because it all comes out of our wallets.
yeah.
Okay.
So why do they even bother? Never mind. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna push all the fees and increases and fines and all that to the next meeting when we have more information.
Okay.
All right,
Rick?
Rick, I think you're all set, right?
No, it's Pearl Brook Road.
We did that one
We
first.
did that first.
Oh, we did that first, okay. I knew I wrote it down for a reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, thank you, sir,
Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, guys.
and if I
Thanks,
don't
Rick.
see you, have a good
Yeah,
Christmas.
you too. Thanks.
All right, next up is 1.9, Glen Shaw Trash and Recycling Discussion. Hello, Glenn,
How you doing?
good.
What do you want to discuss?
Well, I was asked by the town administrator to kind of get a feel for what we're looking at possibly for our next contract, so to speak, so that he can get an idea on how to do his budget.
All right.
I know we're a little early and
Thank-
we're only chatting, so.
So, yeah, so we can meet again on this?
Oh, we have to, yes.
All right, okay,
yes.
so, as far as the budget goes, tonnage wise, I don't see it changing too much on the
Yeah.
trash side.
Yeah.
Recycling side, that's the scary side right now, and it always has been.
Yes,
The other thing I wanna know if you're open to, toter barrels?
I think we've discussed this many times.
Oh, many times. It's
Yes,
been
and
a,
you know my
20 year-
theory on that.
well, just,
You know my theory on that.
Can I make a comment?
You can make all the comments you want. There is no way in
Couple of
hell
years
we're
back-
paying for it.
Couple of years back, we were upstairs in the selectmen's chambers because the water department accused us of faulty septic systems, etc. Now, I'm going right back to the
Yes,
brass tack.
yeah.
I've been here for a couple of times, so.
Yeah,
We have to consider the fact that we just got put into putting that PFAS plant in for the water treatment plant down
Yeah.
there. Now, they went ahead and they did the PFAS plant, but they never looked into the source of the problem.
because they didn't care.
Well, I care.
No, but they didn't care. They
That's
just
their problem,
ran
not
it
mine.
through, yes.
Now, we've been talking about toters for a long time, and I know it always gets squashed with a heavy thumb. But part of the problem that's gonna be going into that filtering facility is the fact that we still got all this trash going into the woods and swamps and everything else. Cause all these trash barrels go all over the road, especially in March and windy days. I'd like to address these toters again, depending on the contract, because they're gonna be inexpensive in the long term. I'm just saying where I'm at.
my suggestion is if we're gonna do this again, I would like to bring in a proposal for both ways. Just
Of course.
because, labor isn't cheap anymore.
Yes, no, I understand that. We,
So I'm trying to
know
see,
that, yeah.
I'm working on it with,
Mhm.
Toda Company right now to see if I can offset like quite a bit
Do you
versus
know-
Todas versus.
And I will address this to Jim also. The hard time we've had over the years from the selectmen about the trash pickup and the cost and how they wanted to do away with it.
Yes.
Getting toters would be great, but if it costs the town money, no,
Right.
we can't do it. And I'm telling you, and it's a great idea, but
I just wanna.
I want you to give us
Yeah,
both.
I wanna
think-
give it both.
think we
I wanna
did
do
it
both.
Last contract too, actually.
Yeah.
I think we did both.
Yeah.
But any increase to this trash that's unnecessary, the selectmen will shut us down.
Right.
I can promise you that. You can tell them anything you want.
The selectmen shouldn't have the right to
They're
shut
the
us
ones who
down.
signed the contract, Jim.
I'm
they will
understanding
not-
that, but it's
they
on
will
our
not do it.
recommendation. Well, I'm gonna still
Yes.
stand firm.
I understand, Jim, we've
Firm and
discussed this
steadfast,
before.
because this
Yeah.
is the future of our children sitting here.
Yeah.
Board of Health.
None of us children live in this town, Jim.
We have a lot of children living in town. Not our children, come on,
Okay.
let's be real, we're here
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yes, we
All
are.
right.
And-
So,
and
I wanna
you-
address this again,
You
because
can
I feel
address
it's
it,
pretty.
yes, you can, and I'm still gonna recommend no, if it costs the town more money.
I'm gonna accept your recommendation for that, but I
Yeah.
still wanna pursue this.
You can, and I think it should be pursued. And again, I am going to vote no if it costs more money, because the town doesn't have it.
I'm not gonna discuss
Go ahead.
taxes right now.
In like 2 minutes, what's the general synopsis of the toter from your point of view?
I mean, for me, it's a lot easier, one less employee on the back of the truck, workers' comp is less. Truck's a lot more money, but,
How many do you have
but
of those trucks?
those trucks.
You do Lemonster, they're all over the place.
7, 8.
8, we have 8 of them now,
Mm.
2 on order, but like, to order a truck, you know what it is now, it's,
Yeah, you're waiting years.
yeah,
Mhm.
so, but
Understand.
I'd like to do that, but the only other thing I need to know though is like, as far as the toter barrels go, are we going with like a 64 like I do in Lemonster?
Yeah, that's what we have here
Or are
now.
we going with like a bigger one for recycling, or?
That's a good question, we'll have to.
That's
give that
the only thing
Well,
I need to know.
What's your
I-
recommendation?
Yeah,
I mean, 64s work
yeah.
in Lemonster, we do them every week. Fitchburg does a 64 for trash and a 96 for recycling, but it's picked every other week.
For just the recycling.
Right. We've just been, if I may,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman,
of course.
we've just been really, working with the residents to make sure that they don't have 96-gallon recyclables because they just can't fit in the truck and the
Right.
phone is gonna ring off.
Oh,
We
yeah.
just went to buy this and
Right.
now, so
Mm.
I think that
But
64
that would
is.
be if it went
Nobody
to a-
complains about 64. We could go down to 45 and I could get grant money, but I
No,
don't see
that's not
anyone,
enough.
I mean, it's just,
Well, so.
I put out 54 every week of recyclables, every week. So that wouldn't do me any good.
So in Gardner, they do a 64 for recycling
Yeah.
and a 48 for
48
trash.
for trash, that's what I was talking about, is
My
if you
only
went
concern
down
with
the
that is the
trash.
families who have
Right.
multiple kids are gonna do a lot more trash.
Right.
And I agree with that.
Yeah,
So
so,
like 64, I believe, is an all-around
yeah.
good.
Is there any way that we could do it in stages over time, where either do a trial for a certain area, or, you know,
That's
do
lot
a
of money.
partial here or there? I'm just
I
asking,
mean,
you
we
know.
could do like maybe a trash for, a 64 for trash and like recycling as it is without a bin.
So that we'd
So
have
I
to
could
do
do like a
both
3
bins
thing.
for sure, though?
Excuse me?
Would we have to do both trash and recycled
Oh,
bins?
well, no, like I said, we could do a trash, a 64 for just trash, and then recycling the way we're doing it now.
Then the trucks, they're defeated, because still got a man in the back.
Well, not what, yes, I see what you're saying.
I think you better copy Lemonster.
But like I said, I can give you a price on both.
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Mm.
How many year contract are we gonna be shooting for?
If you do totes, it's gotta be at least a 5-year contract.
5-year contract.
Yeah, it has to be.
And that's gonna go to town meeting if it's over 3. So
No,
just
actually,
keep
I
that
don't
in
think
mind.
it does.
I
Something,
don't either.
something talking to Adam about that we can do whatever we need to do with trash as Board of Health agents. It doesn't have to go to, town meeting. As far as town
Okay.
attorney's
That's
concerned.
exactly what I've been informed also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we will check again, just to be sure. Curious on how our, transfer station's going up there.
Almost.
Almost there?
Yeah, that's, hopefully
Are we within a year or?
April.
April, and that's before our contract, so that should really consider making things cheaper for us.
I drove by there the other day, that's a
Nice.
huge building.
Why you making faces like
Well,
that?
it's just, it's a lot.
I was hoping you'd go, why, yes, we can cut that in half.
Yeah.
And I'll give you free toters and Christmas cards every year. No, that's fine. No, I know that will help you considerably.
Yes.
In the long run, that will help us.
Right, and that's like labor,
Yeah.
as far as labor goes, it's a
Yeah.
lot closer.
Yeah,
Instead of
so
waiting to dump.
you will, just off the top of your head, because you've given this some thought, because I know that, there's been a push for those for years.
Yeah.
What do you think that would cost off the top of your head? Nothing to hold you to.
With what, the total
Totals,
barrels?
yes.
I honestly, I've been trying to figure it out,
Yeah,
but price of total barrels have been coming down.
right.
So we did this, 6 months ago? And we just did it 2 weeks ago,
Mm.
and they come down like $4. That's a lot when you're buying,
Yeah.
is it 3,600 or 35?
I think we were gonna probably look at 4,000 because we had 3,400 residents.
Because I had told them 3,500.
Okay, well,
But-
34, 35, I think that would give us 100.
And that,
To
that
play
was
with.
the other thing I was gonna ask Colin about, is the dwellings, how many actual dwellings, and right, we're up to 3 families, I do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Right, we do up to 3 families. 4
Yeah.
families and above have to get
Yeah.
Dumpster.
a dumpster, or,
Correct.
so, like I said, the price of total barrels have been coming down. So
Yeah,
I've been trying to I really
That's
want-
because everybody's buying them up, so there's
Well, I know
fewer
that's
more
just,
towns
the
that
whole
need them.
COVID thing screwed everything up. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
equipment, pots,
Mm.
total barrels, but it's all coming back.
Mm.
So,
we still looking at, a flat fee? Or are you looking to go?
well, that's another thing I was wondering. I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Mm.
I know you want a flat fee, don't you?
At least I do.
Yeah, you do.
I'd like the same, I would like the same contract we had last time too, which would be great.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on the recycling thing. I'm trying to see if
Yeah, I
they'll
know,
lock me in.
that's-
They haven't.
You don't have any ins with China? You can
They haven't
just vote
committed.
them right
yet.
out?
That's whole thing is just the trash thing I'm working on. I think I got an in on that. So.
Yeah,
But the recycling,
yeah, I know, that's
it's
hard.
rough right now.
I know, we have a whole center for it. As you're well aware.
Yes. I'm really, this is a good time because it is, like things are changing quickly.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
We're out of the COVID, so
yes.
we don't have as much tonnage as we used to, I hope.
No, and then that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the price of trash is actually leveling out or coming down a little bit.
Yeah,
Because everybody during COVID, tonnages went way up.
yeah. I think our goal is to, I think the selectmen would love to have our contract ready and to be signed before the town meeting in April.
Ooh, okay. No, that's doable. I just,
Well, and if we were going with toters, it would have to be right around then, because
Right.
you're gonna have to advertise, you're gonna have to get the addresses, you're gonna have to drop them off.
Are you-
There's a lot of work that's
Would
gonna
you be
go in
numbering these
this.
things so you know what house they
so,
go
They
to?
run a disc,
so when
right?
you buy them, they have a contractor that actually delivers them
Hmm.
and puts down the total number to that address.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they're like a 98 to 99% accuracy.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah,
So that's pretty good.
yeah. No, they do belong to the homeowner or to you?
No, the town would own.
Town would own it, so we're in charge of
So like, if
replacing
we
them
did this,
when
that's
they
what I'm
break?
saying, a 5-year contract,
Yeah.
if something happens after 5 years,
Yeah.
I don't go pick them up. They would have the Townsend logo on them.
Lots of good information to think
It's
about.
very good information, and I appreciate that. As soon as you can get us something to look at,
Yep.
would be the better.
And the other good
I don't
thing
wanna
is-
wait till the last minute.
The only other good thing is they warranty them for 12 years, and they've been in Leominster, what, 15? We're going on 16? Going on 16 years, and they're still there, so.
Yeah, I know, my son say, what, Florian on them or something? I
Yeah,
don't-
Fiore, well, he still has the old one.
You're right.
Yeah, I look and I go, I
my
know those
God.
And it
stars.
actually is cheaper just to replace, like,
Yeah,
we do what, probably 100? Yeah, we do the covers and the wheels.
yeah.
Wheels usually don't break on tow.
I've never had a wheel, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sorry you brought that up, cause next week you'll be over there changing thousands of them.
But yeah, no, the covers and,
Yeah,
but we learned a lot with the covers, so
Yeah.
I won't do that to towns. The blue covers, is it blue?
Covers.
Blue and red are horrible. The sun deteriorates them
Oh.
and they don't last at all.
As long.
So you wanna go like with a black cover or like a dark green.
I don't know if the color would really matter on a trash barrel. to me.
Longevity is what
does.
he's speaking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
from
It
being out in
does.
the sun all the time.
Yeah, no, but I
Yes.
mean, as far as like, Townsend doesn't have a color, do we? Like,
No, we have.
No, I went with the
trash
neutral one. When I
bags.
got the price, I told the guy I went with the cheapest ones and it was
Yeah.
both like it's a mixed black. It's like they call it sparkly black. It's like a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
mixed in with it, but it's black. And he said those are the ones that last the longest and
Yeah.
the cheapest.
that's what we're looking for, if that's the way we
Oh,
go.
I know. We're in towns.
We're a small town that
No.
has no money, that
I know. And it does pretty
our
good.
fearless leaders like to overspend and want us to raise our fees to cover
Just
their
remember,
asses.
our decisions go for many years for the children and young people in the society. And I like to think that way, because we gotta protect what's going on in the environment.
What do
we
we
gotta
do with
start
everybody that owns a trash barrel? How do we have them get rid of those?
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
That's their
Carla's
problem.
gotta
You're getting
be
a brand
busy
new,
at the
you worry
recycling
about
center.
your own trash barrel.
Then I'm concerned because I own 2 trash barrels that I would have to pay to get rid of them. I don't think
You
that's
get skill saw, cut it
fair.
up and put it in
I
recycling.
don't think that's fair to 3,500 people to get rid of, be responsible for getting rid of things that they paid over $100 for.
Oh,
If the Board of Health had had the opportunity, they'd have, be
And I was
paid
thinking
for
about
by
a
the
lot-
town.
a lot of people bought our total barrels,
Yeah.
and we were thinking about how to, like, we'll buy them back. We're not gonna make.
So all I
Yeah,
gotta,
so
all I
there
gotta
you
do is
go.
write
That's
Shaw's
right.
on mine and I.
Yeah,
Yeah, the town residents that
Some
bought
have
ours,
bought
but
ours.
we were trying to figure out on how to make it fair. Like,
Yeah.
I think
the
that
buying
there's
back.
many options that it's not gonna alleviate the cost, but I think that people would feel, I mean, think about, the farms and the people that would use them for their feed alone. At least people, if they knew that they could donate them someplace, they
Right.
might feel a little better
But
than
yeah, we were
just I
thinking
have
about
to
that, cause
pay.
we had a few customers
to get
just
rid
buy
of
some
it.
new ones the other day and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things don't blow over at all, huh? Ever?
Oh no, they'll blow over.
Oh, so it doesn't matter if you own a trash barrel that blows over. Those blow over
weird.
also.
Oh, yeah.
So that isn't really an argument for toters.
They don't
I
usually
just
blow
wanted
if
to
they're
throw
full.
that out there.
If they're full, they
Yeah.
usually shouldn't.
No, I know, mine never blow over either.
Right, when they're full. It's only when they're empty, right?
Yes. And actually they don't, because I pull them in as soon as the guy takes them out. I'm usually out there talking to you guys as they do it.
Alright.
Because I can.
They must be retired.
All right, well, thank
Alright.
you for your time, Glenn, and
And I'll
please take
get
your
right
family
on
to
that.
dinner.
I will.
Yeah, the sooner we get something,
No,
the
no,
more,
sooner the
it'll,
better,
the more time we'll have to discuss.
Alright.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay. Invoices, Carla.
Invoices, we have Unitil, regular, $52, not bad.
Yeah.
GW Shaw and Sons looking for their monthly payment.
Wanna take the check with you?
B&T needle removal, now these were signed by Chris last month, but apparently they didn't get paid because they only had one signature, and I thought that they were, remember? And then I got little notes saying, hey, when are you gonna pay for that standing desk that you got? And when are you gonna pay for the needle removal? Needle removal is starting to pick up again. It's every 6 to 8 weeks that we're emptying
That
that.
way.
Will you, oh,
That's
yes.
an hour off.
Both of them.
So, for you?
No, I
Yeah,
already
you
signed
just
them that
signed
way.
those.
You were taking them with you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry, sir? Do you have,
No, just came to observe.
okay,
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes.
okay. I felt bad, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know who this gentleman is, and we really don't have people that come in and sit, so.
Oh, alright.
So we did the August one, Carla, as far as the minutes
You
go.
did, and we
Yeah.
don't have the September because I wasn't at the meeting, which is why
Yeah.
I couldn't find them in my book, but I can go on to the video
Doesn't
and I
Rick have?
can. I don't think he was here either at that one.
Oh, so we'll just have to go on YouTube and look it up and,
Yeah, I can
make notes out of
absolutely
Okay.
do that. So, a recycling center update, don't typically have one right about now, things are going well.
I am actually gonna jump in on that one,
Okay.
guys. Here's my proposal for the board. For next year, I would like to see a rolling electric gate up there with 8-foot long wings off the sides. We will put in a proposal to capital planning to see if the town capital planning will fund it for us. Because of our need for, illegal dumping is really out of control,
Yep.
and that should help. We wanna put in a keypad with numbers that we can program for each department, so we can see who opens it with all these
Ooh, I
random,
like that.
random people. We can look at that
I like
department and
that.
go, this was opened by you, we have the cameras that'll tell us who it was, and you're responsible for them for giving the number out. As opposed to just what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that was a nickel dime budget and that's what we
Yeah.
got out of it. so.
Yeah, So-
My phone just hung up because someone called in, so I'm sorry, we've got the, annoying music.
yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so, that we'll work on for, next year. I don't think we could put anything together for this year, capital planning's already meeting, so.
Yeah,
The only thing that worries me is that we still have like $46,000 in our capital money, and they're gonna say, well, why are you coming to us for more money when you got 46 already sitting there?
So we'll
is
look,
there a
We
company
can't-
that we know of that can give us a quote on that gate?
have to look into it,
Can we
somebody
dig
must
into
have
that too?
fences. I can ask around, I mean,
We were looking into combination locks, and the last thing that I had sent to you guys was a padlock that again had like 40 different fingerprints so we would have to go to all the Shaw's employees and the highway department and the tree warden and the parks and cemetery and get all their
fingerprints.
fingerprints so they could come up and they could do that to get let in. And that was,
expensive.
well, it was only a couple $100. But it's
Yeah.
getting everyone in the
That's-
programming and everything. I think it would be a lot easier and a lot safer to install a better gate because that gate is sooner or later. I mean, it's almost been 10 years.
It's not a gate.
Probably,
That's-
but it was not a permanent
Right,
situation.
but
It was a
it's
Band-Aid
really-
at the time.
Right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think it would be better in the long run for
What I'll do
longevity,
is while
just
I'm
get a
on
whole
my-
new gate like he's
My
saying with the
vacation,
keypad.
and I can actually talk into my phone to find companies
there
and
you
get
go.
prices for it. I'll take care of that.
Okay.
And if we have capital money to
Who owns
do it
that
ourselves.
land that has the easement for that?
Sean Tossi.
Yeah,
Because I would love to see the gate closer to the road, because half the problems, the gates down that road,
yeah.
where you
Unfortunately,
can't,
I don't think that'll happen.
no.
He asked us, one of the first
Yeah.
things he did was say, you gotta move the gate, Carla.
Yeah,
because did it used to be closer to the road?
No.
It was right at the road.
yeah,
It was right at the road.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he
he owns
doesn't,
it
he
after
doesn't
the-
want his land blocked
Before
We
Sean
just have an
Tossi bought it.
easement
Don't you remember? We
through
had a
his
gate
property
right
to
at the
actually
road.
get to.
Right.
Alright,
Didn't
so
we?
it has to
Never.
be
No, we
where
never
it
had a
is.
gate.
Never.
We never.
mean-
You're absolutely right. We did not have.
When that was still the dump, the gate was on the backside,
Yeah.
because that's a permanent right of way there.
Yeah, that's
It-
right. We didn't have a
There's
gate.
never been
here.
a gate at that road, wrong.
Yep, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Gid Elijah was still up there working the dump way back in those days. We
Gibby
had the
did.
compactor up there the whole
Yeah.
bit.
I remember that,
Yeah.
yeah. That
So
was
the
great.
gate's always been at that location. There's been several style gates there over
Yeah.
the years.
And is the property line where the existing gate is now, or
It's
is
a
it?
valid question. It's in proximity of that, yes.
I believe so because there's some markers right there.
Yeah.
But we can certainly check it. And I could certainly ask Sean, can we put it up? But you see where his opening is halfway through there.
Yeah.
So it's still, even if we were to move the gate, say 40 feet up, it's still gonna be enough for people to go in and have total privacy to throw their stuff out.
Yeah,
And then it's gonna be,
everyone-
and then it's gonna be right next to Sean's entrance, and he's not gonna want that,
Sure.
Because
so.
people will be turning around on his property.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah, and
Kind
I
of
can't get into
point.
my area because someone dumped a bunch of mattresses down.
yeah.
And then he'd have a heart attack. if
So
they start
essentially, it's
doing
gotta stay where it is.
that. Yeah,
Well, it's a deeded easement, is it not?
Perpetuity,
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but it's still his property. I don't think he's not gonna, we have an easement, doesn't mean that we have free reign to do what we want with it. It's-
No.
It's
Right.
just an access for us to get to our property.
right.
Sean's a very accommodating person, I'm sure
Yeah.
that he would work with us if there was a
Yeah.
way that it doesn't interfere with him, I'm 100%, and I shouldn't say that, but I'm 100% sure that he would work
Yeah.
with the town.
Yeah,
Putting a gate in when somebody goes in after dark and they disturb someone, you should have motion detectors so bright lights come on. That'll deter them.
Well, I mean, if it's an auto open and closing gate,
yeah, go ahead.
right, like, we can, I don't see why we wouldn't wanna ask the question if we could put it closer to the road to prevent. He's benefiting from that as well, because now
Okay, so
people
you're-
can't even
okay.
access
I
his
see
property.
what you're saying, so we're gonna lock, so if we have a key code, then we can code Sean Tossi.
How do we
And-
get power down that end? We can get power.
They'd have to put a tap right off the
okay,
line, put a pole
okay.
in and put a meter on the pole.
And
Sounds
that's,
more expensive.
that's a little more
This
expensive.
way
just-
we
I'm
could
just-
underground wire right out of
Yeah,
our building
yeah,
and
yeah, and that's always
run
been a
it there. That'd
problem.
be the cheapest for us.
I'm just, if we're having the conversation,
Yes,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
bring
Right,
up,
no, I
Yeah.
like that idea,
what
Kevin.
do we, what's the perfect thing that we're shooting for? We might not get that, but we have to have the conversation about that.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk to him. He might have ideas that we don't even know about.
Can he come in and chat with us?
Sure,
Yeah?
we're just
You
gonna
guys
find
be
him.
up for that?
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Jim?
find him.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That way he can come in and chat with us and see, what he'll allow us to do, if he
Okay.
might even say, that's a great idea, let me throw in a little or something to help you
Okay.
out, or,
Okay.
especially if we're putting it at the road,
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Do you want me to try and get him in at the next meeting where we're not sure where
whatever's convenient
anything's?
for him.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's probably gonna say, let's do something in January, and you'd probably
Yeah.
be feeling a little bit better to get
Yeah.
on the phone and be on conversation with
Yeah.
us. So let's not push it for this.
Yeah, no, this is, like I said,
Okay.
if we were gonna submit this to capital planning for the next budget,
Okay.
that might help us also. So, this could be a year away, but obviously we'd love to do it tomorrow.
Okay.
But I don't think that's gonna happen,
That does not happen.
no. But like I said, what I'll do, I'll do for the board is I'll have time, and I can type lefty one-handed. I
You're
suppose.
doing a great job with that tonight,
What's it, left-handed? Am I?
Yeah.
Well, you know something? I like that word, and I use it more often
It
than I.
shows, trust me, it
Yes,
shows.
It does. But I don't mind. It doesn't bother me at all, because you
Guys,
know
me
one thing,
bonkers,
Jim?
so keep saying
You
it.
know what bothers me, Jim, is that nothing bothers me, because you know what? I am who I am. I'm very happy with myself and the way I am, and
I'm
I'm not
proud of you.
changing. And I'm not changing for anybody. Now, okay, so we got that out of the way, recycle, so the future agenda items.
Not sure about the tobacco,
we're still
Joan has
waiting
been MIA, so I will reach out to her again.
Yeah, okay, and the next meeting is on the 11th.
Yes, it is.
It's, we got the 12th here, how come?
I know, it's a typo for me. I have to get my
Yes.
3-month calendar off
Have you
my.
heard from Staples?
No.
Okay, can I get a motion to close?
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:57.
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye,
to the vote.
and that's a close.
Awesome.
Thank you all.